What up, what up, what up? What's happening? Que lo que miente. Welcome to Love, Purpose, and Passports. Passports. What up, what up, what up? What's happening? Que lo que miente. We back in the studio. Welcome to Love, Purpose, and Passports. Hope all is well and all are passport ready or passport getting ready. For those of you that don't know, I dropped my phone. We are Mr. and Mrs. Pro for you.
Oh, no!
Coming to you again. We back. Hey.
We're glad to be back.
Yes, we are. You know, we thought we were going to be hitting corners every week.
Corners?
But the thing about this DR tropical space that we living in, sometimes the weather says stay home.
And we have a lot of really good information to give you anyway about the things that we learned when we go out to travel.
So today's video, we're going to talk about what not to do in the Dominican Republic when you get out and about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're just going to sit in the crib like this, you know, it don't matter. But when you get outside, you know, we've been telling you to come outside. We're going to tell you how to do these things and how to remain safe, alert, and how to get through, you know, any type of little situations you might run into. Because once you... I got to keep my phone.
Drop this phone again.
Yeah, I got to put it... I have to get a little table. So anyway... So, yeah, we're giving you this information, keep you safe and sound, and make sure you have the best experiences when you get out there, just like we do.
Right.
So, let's get ready. And these are just going to be a few quick points. We're not going to be here all night, even though I know y'all would like to see us just sit up here like it go live, you know, with a telethon, a marathon telethon, you know what I mean? It just, you know, one day. But this time, it's just going to be a quick video. Give you some pointers.
And we could talk for hours, okay?
We can. So, beautiful lady of mine, this first one, did I ever introduce you?
Yeah, you call me Miss Pro. I'm here.
I can't let, look, So you guys see who's with me today? This beautiful lady of mine, Miss Pro for you. How you doing today, Miss Pro for you?
Okay, thank you for asking.
Looking all beautiful and stuff in studio. You know what I'm saying? We might have to be in studio a little more often. Like this. So, this first one. So this first one we're gonna do. This first point. Things not to do in the Dominican Republic. Number one, and especially considering all the things that have been going on lately. If you know, you know. Thinking you're on the resort when you're at local spots. And what that kind of means is, you know, at the resorts, you kind of like, you know, you lay back, let your hair down, you know what I mean? Let your guard down, let everything down. When you're at the local spots, you can enjoy yourself, but don't let everything down. So we're going to let Miss Pro give us a couple of pointers on that right quick, you know, and I'll chime in a little bit as usual.
Or when people go to resorts, we all want to relax and let our hair down. And we tend to think that the entire island is like the resorts. So then when we get to the local spots, you know, we want to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. So remember, don't be too trusting with strangers.
Everybody's going to be friendly when you get out there, but you don't know everybody's intention.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people, you know, look, people are generally friendly.
Right.
But sometimes you got that gringo written all over your face.
Oh.
And that brings out sometimes the opportunists. And, you know, just be aware. Right. It's not like you have to go out there, you know what I mean, with your bulletproof vest on, you know what I mean, and bring your hotel safe out there with you, you know what I mean, to bury it in the sand or anything like that. But stay aware. Situational awareness, and, you know, just always think twice when people are too friendly. Like, it's okay. People are going to be friendly, hi and bye. Hey, how's it going? And then that extra friendly, need a few pesos friendly. You know what I'm saying? Look, don't, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? No gracias, But at the same time, people that try to like get up under you, you know what I mean? And start telling you old stories and trying to ask you where you from a little bit too much and just kind of like trying to join the party. No, just be aware of that, because that's just really not a thing that you should be all the way open to, especially when you're somewhere new. So
right. So here's another thing. Don't expect resort level service everywhere you go. Five-star resorts are 5-star resorts for a reason. That doesn't mean that everywhere you go is going to be the same thing. Doesn't mean you're going to get treated poorly.
No.
But people that work in hotels get trained to work in hotels.
They do.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that everyone has that same type of training.
Exactly. And just think about it like this. At the resort, you might be paying $100 a day, $150 a day. But if you went to a spot that was like, 300 pesos a day, you know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of like keep in mind that, it's not the same. It's not going to rise to that level. But, like we try to show you, these are local spots. Yeah. They're beautiful. You can kick it and have a really, really nice time. But like we said, just don't get, don't expect it to be like the resort. That's what the whole name of this caption, this point was. Don't expect it to be like a resort, but expect to see the true beauty of the island, and expect to see, you're going to see the real people of the island. So is there anything else you had on your end?
So another important thing is to don't flash your valuables in public places. I mean, you don't have to walk around afraid, but you do have to be aware. You just never know. So even locals don't flash around their valuables and their jewelry and their things around everyone.
Exactly.
So that's a point. I think that's like a general rule for everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think you're really supposed to do that anywhere, really. Anywhere, new that you don't know, really.
Exactly. So here's the thing that you run into, right? You have your money when you pull up. You might have your watch on. You might even have a little chain on, you know what I mean, or something. But the thing is, most of the time when you're heading outside of the capital, outside the city, you're going somewhere that are like water activities, whether it's the beach or the river. And just like something I had to get used to, when we're going in the water, I know, dang, I got my phone on me, I got my wallet on me, and I'm gonna keep my chain on, but I might have my watch on me. And so it gets weird, because now, when you're taking this stuff off, people see you taking it off. Now you putting it in your bag or everybody sees you putting it in the bag. So, it's like, you just have to kind of be aware. So now that I'm aware, sometime before I get out, I'll tuck it in my backpack, in the pocket in my backpack or something. Or even when I'm kind of taking off, I'm kind of low key about it. You know what I mean? Kind of tuck and roll a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Stick it in there and,
tuck and roll?
Yeah, just kind of spin move it, you know what I mean? And kind of like put it in there instead of like, hey, everybody, I'm putting, I'm taking off, I'm disrobing all the jewels and, tucking it in the bag. No, you got to be kind of low key about it, and I'll tell you why. Because you're going to be in the water, and all your stuff is going to be on the beach, where you were posted up at. And that's another thing I wanted to add that to what we were talking about. Keep your eye on your stuff, man. When you're out in the water enjoying yourself, and especially like I said, you pulling up like a gringo. So a lot of times you have things that they don't have. The locals just pull up with shorts and maybe a towel sometimes, but some of them also might pull up with a radio, but we tend to have more things. You see what I'm saying? Just more little things that we have that, that we got to take off and tuck. And then again, they see you. Everybody sees everybody pulling up, and especially at some of these places, because it's already not that many people there. And so you don't want to be out there enjoying yourself in the water. You done took your eyes off your stuff, And next thing you come back after having such a great time out there, you might be out there floating with your little Brugal popping, you know what I'm saying, and then having sips, and you got something nice out there, took your attention all off of everything, and then you look and get back, and reaching, you're looking for your bag, and you're reaching here, and it's gone. Not saying that's gonna happen.
No, but be vigilant.
Yeah, keep your eye on your stuff.
Wise.
Look, we make it look smooth when we out there, but best believe we always looking to the side, you know what I'm saying? Eyes looking over there, looking at our stuff. Because we get there early, and what tends to happen sometimes is we out there and it may be just us, or maybe just us and a couple of people, and people start arriving. So we'll be out there and be like, look at this one over there standing by our stuff. We gotta pause the video. Look, we shooting, trying to make it look all glamorous, like it's all deserted.
You don't see that.
We gotta stop the video and start looking like, why you walk past our stuff twice? So you gotta be aware, man. I'm not saying you can't enjoy yourself, but again, at some of these places, if you didn't bring anything of value, then you ain't got to worry about losing anything. But also, you still going to have a few dollars. You're going to have a few pesos out there. You still going to have your watch. You still going to have your phone.
Sure.
So, that's another thing. You don't want to lose your phone. You're going to be looking, but you'll think about it, because as soon as I get separated from everything, I'm looking around. But we know we can't get too active out there, and start just floating down. The current is taking us further and further away from our stuff and everything. Nah. On the resort, you can kind of get out there like that.
Right.
But at the local spots, just be aware of your stuff.
Here's another good one. Don't assume that everyone speaks a little bit of English. When you're out in local spots, you might find someone that might speak some English, but that doesn't happen everywhere. It's always a good idea to learn a couple of words of Spanish. Survival stuff to get you around.
Yeah, bring a couple of words of Spanish, you know what I'm saying? You can bring one of these little fine translators, which, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about all that. You can just kind of pick it up as you go.
I am his translator. I am his translator.
Yeah, no, seriously. They're not speaking no English out there. Okay.
You
some
might
of the young
find
homies.
some people.
Look, the young homies when I went cliff jumping, those little homies, they spoke English. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then a lot of times when we're filming the video, they hear us speaking English. So the ones that speak English to kind of gravitate toward us. I got love. We got love for the homies that be rolling with us. Shout out to the supporter of the channel. This brother keep us in the mix.
He does.
OG Victory.
He does.
Keep hitting us and keeping us in the game, baby. Victory. Our dude. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you for all y'all that keep supporting the channel. We appreciate you. We're going to keep on bringing it to you. Love for the homies that be rolling with us. Hey. They'll hear us speaking English, so the ones that, they'll kind of gravitate toward us, and we wonder why they kind of hanging around in the back of the video while we shoot. I start getting irritated for a minute.
They're understanding everything that we're saying.
And they want to, they pass by and all that part of it. They want to holler at us to ask if we got a YouTube. Very, very friendly. Very friendly when it comes to that type of stuff.
But don't assume that everyone will be able to understand what you're asking or what you're saying.
No, they're not, and so, it's not that you really have to do much interacting and stuff, but also, this is why it's good to learn how to order your stuff. And a lot of you know how to order. So if you're there and they come and ask you, which if you want to order something, you can do that. It's pretty easy. When you pull up, the Parkers, what was that name I had for the Parkers? I had a new name for them. The Parkistadors. The Parkistadors will be out there, you know what I mean? And so, there's not a whole lot of Spanish you got to know, but you got to, it's like cuánto cuesta. Cuánto cuesta, how much, because you're going to have to pay for them helping you with the parking spot. And a lot of times that's the person that's going to take you to whatever table. And that's another thing when you go out there. Don't get out there thinking the tables are free.
Right.
That's just not a thing out here. You know, maybe if you get localized or something, you know, the tables are free. Don't feel like you're getting gringo necessarily,
No.
but
What normally they'll do is, what normally they'll do is they'll say, you know, if you eat here, if you purchase X amount, you know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, the table will be free. If you don't eat anything or drink anything here, then the table will be this much money.
right.
That's the norm.
Yeah.
Prices change, but that's the standard.
And did you have anything else you want to read? So one last thing, and this is probably the most important thing about when you're going to some of these places and like these beaches in the cut and these rivers in the cut. Do not, and when I say do not, this is in all big red caps. Do not stay until dark. Don't do it. You know, once you've gone there a few times, you don't need no advice because you know how to do it. But until then, don't stay at these places until it's dark because you don't know what's going on when it gets dark. You don't know what kind of trouble you might run into or problems. You may run into a problem or anything. And you want to be able to make it out of there because some of these places are in the cut and it may take a little bit for you to get back to the road, you know, or you may be out in the middle of nowhere and it may take a minute to get back to civilization. So to be on the safe side, because at nighttime it changes, right? It ain't civilization no more once
dark.
It's nighttime and you don't know where you are.
It's dark.
See, we kind of know. We've been up and down Las Americas, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of know a little bit, but we're not leaving no waterfall at nighttime.
No.
You know, we're not leaving no beach in the cut at nighttime. We like, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon. Look, that's why you get there early. You know what I'm saying? We get there about 10 o'clock, 3:30. Like, man, we better get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Before, you know.
By that time, we've been there an entire day. So, we're tired.
No need to be
Yep.
out there. Leave that for the youngsters. You know what I'm saying? You running with the young tigres, you know what I'm saying? Or you pulled up on a moto with the tigres, you can stay till nighttime. But if you just pulled up in the little hoopty and stuff, you know, with your girl trying to have a little, you know, little quiet time on the beach, don't stay until dark. It just ain't really like that. You know, you go back to the resort or book a day pass at the resort or something like that. But at these local spots, don't stay until nighttime, and don't even plan on coming back. Just make it back in early, you know, afternoon. Afternoon is good. Because you don't want to take a chance on running into anything. And like I said, because it's a local spot, like these local spots be local spots. We got this spot we were getting ready to go to it's like a cave, but in the water and underground, and we found it, but it was like, we gonna go.
But it's really local.
Yeah, man. You know, we got to get prepared, make sure we ain't brought too much stuff. Got to figure out if I'm going to bring the drone back there, and we got to look and see, and how far is it from where you park? Because, I mean, you know, this whole island, this is a tropical island. This stuff that's in the cut. But even people that leave comments under it, if you find it on your, you know, look, you know, go with some people, you know what I mean? Don't just pull up, you know what I mean, and just lottie-dottie on up in there. See, when we go, we know we going. We ain't just lottie-dying up in there, lottie-dying.
Yeah, so do your research.
Do your research.
Yeah.
You know, if you got to ask us, give us a call.
Right.
You know, if you're going to a place. But a lot of times we'll let you know. We'll let you know about these spots.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of times she talks about security. Sometimes I take it out when she talks about security because we don't want it to be like you scared of every place to go to. But security is important. When you see it there, you get kind of a sense of, okay, this is cool, you know, but no, all of these, there's a lot of beautiful places that are only for the localities, you know.
Localization.
You ain't, you know, if you don't speak Spanish that good and you ain't with people that speak Spanish that good, not people where y'all can just roll up in there and post up.
Up, not up.
No, some of these places, you know, it's
not
real.
up.
They jumping off in the water and it's on, but you know, when you pull up, they gonna know, like, nah, who is you, homie? You know, so you don't want that to happen. They gonna say it in Spanish. Yeah. So this next one, this is a really good one right here. It's about don't get here and get arrogant or rude when you are pulled over by the cops.
Mm-hmm.
When you're pulled over, you're approached by the police. Tranquilo, manito.
Mm-hmm.
So, beautiful lady of mine, what you think about that?
Well, respect goes a long way here.
It does.
We tend to be real cool and, real fun loving and real laid back. And every police officer we've been around, when you come at them and approach them with respect, we get respect back. We just had a situation, right? They're doing this like construction on the way that we come home from work. He picks me up, and then we come home from work on a certain route, and they're doing this construction where the street is it's just a real uncomfortable.
This is a lot of heavy construction where you backed up, you sitting back at the light. Yeah. You might be at the light for 5-10 minutes, depending really on what's going on. Yeah.
Well, there's this one police officer, a traffic officer, and Ahmed. There's this one traffic officer that my husband calls him.
We call him
angry officer, right?
Angry Ahmed.
Angry Ahmed. Yes, he calls him Angry Ahmed because he always has this angry look on his face. Well, one day we're driving past and construction was crazy, and my husband did this wild turn thing.
So it wasn't nothing much. I just I was on the incoming traffic side, to go around all the traffic to make a right-hand turn.
But that's exactly what happened.
Look,
right?
you gotta. I mean, it wasn't my first time doing it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I didn't make that up there. Sometimes you gotta go in oncoming traffic to make a right, or you go sit there at the light for 10-15 minutes waiting on it to go. So anyway, I have been doing it because I have been doing it before Angry Ahmed got there. Then he finally showed up after. I think that got listed as one of the worst intersections in the capital.
It really did. It showed up in the news. Anyway, so Mr. Angry Ahmed pulls us over. Yeah. We're driving, and he's over to the side. And I was like, oh no, Angry Ahmed, stop this. I started looking for all the papers.
He ain't even asked for nothing yet.
All the Ahmeds in the world, not Angry Ahmed, right? So he comes over, and my husband rolls down the window, and Mr. Angry Ahmed says, he says, do you know why we pulled you over or whatever? And then, my husband is real charming. He was like,
I'm
sorry, I apologize. And, real cool. He shook his hand. I was like, Angry Ahmed shakes hands?
Yeah, he went to me, saw me take out, and I took out my driver's license. Once he saw my driver's license from the States, he kind of like, and here's the thing. They're used to people giving them a really hard time. Because I've seen, it gets crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, they're not, but they're used to a lot of ignorant confrontations when they pull people over. It is what it is. But this is what I will say, since I've been here, because I've gotten stopped by myself, without her in the car. And one thing she told me a long time ago, many, many years ago, she was like, when the police stop you, come at them like apologetic.
Yeah.
Lo siento, hermano.
Yeah.
No hay problema.
Right.
I don't want no problems,
Right.
Lo siento, mi español no es tan bueno. Just kind of like, let them know it's no problem. And so I've done that a couple of times, and it's just it's never a problem because they see I'm not coming at them like that.
No.
I don't have this chip on my shoulder. So since I've been here, I realized that my interaction with the cops here is not the same as my interaction with the cops in the States. I'm never thinking about getting pulled out the car. I'm never thinking about being spread eagle paws on the concrete. I'm never thinking about getting rained on, with lead. I'm never thinking about, looking down the barrel, no guns. I'm never thinking about, being sitting on the curb out there where they tearing up the car, or, all this asking you unnecessary, I never think about any of that because that doesn't happen. It never happens. If it happens one time, I don't even have a right to be mad because I've been coming here for over a decade, and it's never happened. The joke between us was when we see the cops, I kind of speed up a little bit, to kind of like get out of their vicinity, kind of like, lead them back there to do what they gonna do. But it's because, you just don't have problems like that. You don't have to worry about that. They're gonna see that you're Americano, and especially when you tell them your Spanish is not that good. Lo siento, I'm sorry. Mi español no es tan bueno. My Spanish is not that good. And you just say it with a cool attitude.
Really.
And it
goes
changes.
a long way.
You know? And sometimes you can pay your ticket on the spot. I ain't gonna go no further, but you know what I'm saying? A little tip. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? A little what they call that again?
Propina.
Yeah, a little propina. But that's another, I don't know. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying, holler at me on the side and I tell you how to work that out sometimes. But
well, Mr. Angry Ahmet was he kind of smiled a little and that went over surprisingly well.
Yeah,
like, wow,
it went
they
well.
became friends.
Yeah, they don't, just no problem. So you don't have to get uptight when you have an interaction with the cops.
Yeah.
Just let them know you don't speak Spanish that good. They're going to see you're Americano or they're going to see you're not from there. And it's just going to be a whole different interaction. You're not going to have the same, listen, there's some people that have problems no matter where they go. Because I can already see somebody now telling me all these stories of, the cops kidnapping them because they thought, whatever. Look, okay, I'm just telling you from experience, if you don't come at them foul in general, you're not going to have the same experience that you have with the cops in the States. Are there bad cops everywhere? Yeah.
Sure.
But guess what? The bad cops here ain't equivalent to the bad cops there, no matter how you slice it. They're just not. So this is why we were saying, with this about relax. Get your license ready. And so that's another thing before I say that, talking about getting your license ready, everything. We had a few Spanish.
Well, we were saying, we had a conversation and, we were saying that you don't really even need to speak a lot of Spanish to kind of understand that type of interaction. If you listen to like some keywords that the Ahmet will say when you're having that interaction with him, you can kind of gauge what he's saying or what he wants. Like, for example, if he's speaking to you and he says the word licencia or licencia de conducir, he's asking you for your
license. If you hear licencia, if you just listen, or you could already be getting it ready.
Right.
Because if the first thing you tell him when he says something to you that your Spanish, and that's what I always do. I always tell them my Spanish is not that good, so they already know what time it is. But if they let's just say they ain't really paying attention to all that. When they say licencia, I already have your license ready. But you hear that? That's a key word. In case you missed it, in case you were nervous, in case you weren't paying attention, in case it happens fast. Key words. Licencia, right?
Right. Or they'll ask for matrícula, a matrícula. That's the car.
The registration.
The car registration.
Matricula.
They'll ask for matrícula. They'll ask for that too. Or they'll say something, they'll ask you, ¿has tomado alcohol? Sometimes they'll ask alcohol, like, have you been drinking alcohol?
Like alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol. So they'll ask you, have you been drinking alcohol? You could just respond and be like, no alcohol.
No alcohol.
You don't even need to have like full, complete, no alcohol.
Look,
You
make it, no.
Nunca.
So
those are, well, I don't know about nunca. That's a bit much, but yeah.
I'm just saying, your attitude is, your attitude is supposed to be, more like just humble.
Really, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Just humble and respectful.
Yeah.
My apologies. You didn't know what you were doing was wrong, so you could just say, lo siento, and that's that. You're gonna have a good experience here.
Yep.
Seguimos.
So that was that.
We have to check weather conditions.
Okay.
That was good.
That was. So the next one, things that you don't do in the Dominican Republic when it comes to heading out. Do not forget to check the weather conditions.
Oh, yeah. Big one.
This is a tropical island, and tropical island brings tropical things like tropical storms, and they can come in fast and leave fast. Check the weather. Yeah. Check the weather. There's so many things that, like, we're here now, you know what I mean? And we planned on, we thought we were just gonna be out there skating, everywhere we were gonna go and do all that. But we look up and the weather didn't stop what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, we got to start doing some in-studio videos sometime because we can't be skipping weeks if it rains every weekend because we're doing these things on the weekend and stuff. And we're kind of showing you things that you could do in a day, or in a weekend. And so you just don't know the roads that well like that. And on top of that, the beaches, the rivers, they can get dangerous really fast.
Serious. Yeah.
Really fast. And you get out there and didn't know that the weather was going to change on you. And not only are you out there, but now you got to get back.
Yeah.
And the rain gets crazy. And if you don't, and the thing about these places is, once you've been to these places and once you've gone to certain places multiple times and been down certain roads multiple times, you kind of get used to the conditions. But a lot of times you're here on vacation and you just visiting. You don't really understand the flow. You don't understand how these roads can flood, how the highways can flood, and all of these things. So it's good to check the weather every time you plan on going somewhere outside of the capital. It's good to check the weather in general, but when you're going to some of these places that we're talking about that are more like local type places, check the weather before you go.
We had gone to a beach and they weren't allowing anyone on the beach because the weather conditions the day before, my poor baby, he was so disappointed because the weather conditions, the weather condition the days before that were so rainy and strong that the waves were too strong and they didn't allow people to go in the beach. So my poor baby was so excited to get in the beach and, do what he does, and the police officers were like, "No, senor."
Yeah, everybody just sitting there looking.
The weather conditions did not allow him to fully.
Mind you, I wanted to go out there anyway, but here's another problem with being at some of these new locations, and I don't know if we were going to mention this in some of the other sections, but let me mention this. You really don't know when it's your first time at a river, a lake, or a beach, you don't know the lay of the land. So you don't know if when you go out in that water, all of a sudden it's just going to drop off. If there's holes out there, you don't know. That's why a lot of times you hear me say in the video, where the little homies at? Because, I know what I can do, but I'm also not a fool. There's no lifeguards at these places. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that we're used to in the States. We're used to a certain amount of safety protocols and things in place to be in place. You go to these spots in the cut, there's no lifeguards out there. Mm-hmm. So you don't know if you take 6 steps out that it's just going to drop off into the deep. You don't know if you take a few steps out and a wave hits you that you're going to find yourself scraped up on the coral, because there's a lot of coral out in these places and rocks and stuff. And so you just don't know. So I wanted to go out there anyway, but I was like, I don't know how deep. I don't know where the deep water comes in. I don't know, because everything looks different when you know you ain't gonna be saved. Ain't nobody gonna save you. A little bit different. I still be acting like I was wild as I used to be. In my mind, I am though. But when it comes to that wisdom kick in, what I'm saying, get the feeling this little gray right here, what I'm thinking, and be like, I want to go out there, but I don't know I can't see what's under there, and I don't know what's under there, and nobody else is out there, so maybe I better go on and just be a little disappointed and think about it next
poor
time.
Thing.
Yeah. No, there's you have to be careful at these places and really think about the fact that there's nobody out there to really rescue you if something goes wrong. So you got to be careful.
Another thing too to think about is the temperature. Depending on where you're going in the country, temperatures change. Like, for example, if you go to Constanza or if you go to Jarabacoa, the temperature can drop below 50.
Yeah, because these are like mountainous areas. These areas are,
so they can drop like 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And then that's like 10 degrees Celsius. Yeah, and then and those are the mountain areas. And then like in other parts of the country, it can get to like, 90 degrees. Fahrenheit. That's like what, 30 Celsius? So
I don't know, but everywhere is 90. It's 90 outside right now, probably. But Yeah, everywhere's 90, but you're just not
then
used
it
to
would
these
fool
places
you
being
because
cold.
if you're used to the 90 and you say that you want to go to Constanza, now you have to wear like a sweater.
That's the difference. It's
So you
the
would have to,
fluctuation in the
yeah.
weather that makes 50 cold as opposed to in New York or somewhere you celebrating when it's 50 because, a couple days ago it was 10. So it's a big difference. You know what I mean? It's that 30 or 40 degree fluctuation that, takes a toll on you. But yeah, when if you're going to some place like Costanza or something, you got to bring your hoodies, you got to bring your jeans or your thermals or something like that. And, you're going in the water stuff secondary because you might just run out there, take your pictures right quick, make it look like it's on, and then get right back out. Yeah. So yeah, there are, it's hard to believe. There are some places that get a little chilly. They're cold. You know what I mean? That might be misleading, but they get a little chilly.
I get cold.
Yeah, she gets cold.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This next one, another important one for when you're getting ready to head out there. This one is not being prepared for the possibility of your car breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
Because like we said, you're leaving outside the capital. When you're in the capital and your car break down, it's not going to get too frightening. You know what I mean? It's going to be, there's a lot of help around. You know what I mean? But once you leave outside the capital, there's going to be less people. There's going to be less people that speak English, and you might be around less civilization. You know what I mean?
There's less people around.
Yeah. Less civilization. You might be out and it might be just like looking like wilderness sometimes. It might be looking like just, empty roads. You might be on a dirt road going like this and all of a sudden the car mess up. Mm-hmm. You just don't know. So beautiful lady of mine, what did you have for that?
Well, I was going to say just a couple of things. We do have something. I mean, if you're renting a car, you're probably already going to have some type of insurance, and your insurance will have, roadside assistance. But we also have roadside assistance that's on all the major highways. Every couple of meters, you'll see a sign that it'll say, the roadside assistance, and then they consistently pass by, and you can call that number. Or obviously you can just call your insurance, mm-hmm. and they'll be able to help you out with roadside assistance too.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to add to that before we go on to these other tips we had about that is here, check your tires before you roll out to these places. Just kind of like do a visual check where you look around, make sure there's no nails in the tire, or make sure it looks like the tread is okay, because here they go through tires fast out here. The roads take a toll on the tires, a lot here as well. And so, make sure the air is good, but mainly check your tread and check to make sure there are no nails before you get out there. That's the main thing you can check. I mean, the other things, most of the time you're renting a car, so the tune-up and everything is up to par. And so you really shouldn't have any problems. But look, who knows? You might be going somewhere with your chica, it might be in her car. You don't know what condition her car is in because you haven't been out here like that. And so you just want to, you may want to stop and get a tune up. You may just want to look at it or anything. Stop at the gas station, have them check the oil. Stop at the gas station, have them check the water. And again, check your tires. Tires, it's very inexpensive to go get your tire fixed if you see anything strange with it. That's one thing that doesn't cost that much here and everything. It's not a thing to be getting new tires every time, a little hole, a little nail or something gets in the tires here, because that can happen a couple times a week sometimes. It just can happen. It's a thing here. And so check your, do a little lightweight inspection before you get out here on the road and end up out there again. This is another reason why we talk about trying not to be on the road at nighttime. Because at nighttime just adds another element to the problem. And nobody wants to be stuck out there on the road like that at night.
It's funny you said that. My father would always say that if I ever find myself out at night and it's somewhere dark and I get like a flat tire or something, he said, keep going. Even if you ruin the tire, even if you ruin the rims, even if you ruin whatever in the car, Keep going until you find somewhere that there are other people around where you can safely call and get some type of help. Don't just like stay there in the middle of nowhere or in the middle of somewhere that's too dark.
That's good advice for women.
Yeah.
That's even a good advice for women in the States, you know, when they run into problems with the car at nighttime. Guys, we can kind of assess the situation, but out here, you know, and especially when you don't speak the language, I mean, being out there in trouble can feel a lot different. You can have more of a helpless feeling being out here, and especially because you don't speak the language and you're not familiar with where you are, and you're not familiar with how things are done in those type of situations. So I don't know, as a guy, if you would have to really drive, you would just have to assess the situation. But again, situational awareness. Take note when you're driving of gas stations on the way, you know, and little markets. What do you call them? Paradas?
Paradas.
Paradas or mini marts.
Yeah.
On the way to a lot of these places, because a lot of these places are like national parks and stuff. So they have little stops where you can get gas and you can pick up little snacks and stuff like that. So as you're driving, be aware, see those places so you kind of know that, okay, there was a gas station there or there was this there, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can just get caught up in the beauty in the moment and you're really not paying attention to those things, but pay attention to those things.
Here's another thing too. If you ever find yourself somewhere and you need like a gasoline station, you know, you can always go to Waze and just put, you know, gasoline or gasolinera, and it'll kind of tell you what's the closest one to where you're at too. Yeah. So that's another thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Waze does work. Waze works out here really well. We use Waze. I use Waze every day. Yeah. Waze works here, and Waze will tell you where the gas stations are and where everything is. So Waze does help a lot. Don't forget about Waze. And if you don't have it, download it on your phone before you roll out.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, download it. You know, it's definitely a tool that you want to have, and especially like sometimes, you know, you might get diverted. You know, a road might be closed. You might get sent a different direction or something. That can happen easy too. So, you know, this is why, like, when we're talking about your car breaking down, these, again, I want to stress this. Try not to be on the road at night. You hear some guys say, man, I jumped on the road and just beat it, you know, from Punta Cana to the capital, you know, at night. Look, some guys go hard, they can do it, but don't do it and then not know that you're going hard. If you plan on going hard, do it. But for the most part, in general, there's no need to go at night. It's just like we were gonna go to the waterfall, and I was like, you know what? We could probably leave at like 4 a.m. or something, because it's gonna take us a few hours to get there. And I'm like, nah, we don't want to be out there like that.
And I was up at 4 a.m. ready to go.
She was.
I was.
We wasn't leaving till 8.
I was excited.
Yeah, I'm still asleep. But I had considered it, and then I thought better. We don't want to be out there. It's because it's not worth it. Yeah. You know, the things that can go wrong by not just waiting until, I mean, the sun comes up around 6:30. Why leave at 5 and it's still dark, and then you don't know what you're going to run into out there? They run red lights out here at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's a fact.
That's what it is.
Because you're going to run some red lights at nighttime sometimes. Because that's just what it's done. Sometimes they run the red light because it's not really safe to sit at the red light.
Exactly.
But then again, you out there and you don't know, and sometimes it causes accidents. That's why we have red lights and green lights. Without that, it can get a little strange, and then, you know, somebody get broadsided because somebody's running the light, or 2 people are running the light. You know, one person's running the light, one person's taking the green light. So these kind of things that can happen at nighttime.
Yeah, it's not worth the risk.
No, not these kind of places. You know what I'm saying? It's not really worth it. It's a little bit different when like sometimes, like if we jump on an excursion or something, it leaves at night, but they on the highway. You know, and it's a big old bus and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You in your car just trying to hit corners and get somewhere, it's really just not worth it. So I stress that because I want you to keep that in mind, because sometimes it feels smart to leave at night, but you're not in the States. Learn things first and understand what you're doing, because if we leave at night, I already know how to assess what's going on and choose to do it or choose not to do it, but I'm making an educated decision. Yeah. When you're just visiting, or you haven't done it that much, it's best to find out how to do these things at the best times before you start trying to get radical.
Radical. Okay.
So now, guess what we got for you? We've been telling you all these tips, but now we're going to give you the game in case you find yourself in these situations.
The
What
game.
we're going to give you, we're going to give them the game.
The game.
We're going to give you these short phrases in Espanol, these little tips of things that you can say in these situations that'll help you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it in English. Then we're going to let her say it in Spanish. And then I'm going to say it in Spanish. And then what's going to happen is by the time you see this video, the captions will be up. So what you do is when you see the phrase up there in English and Spanish, screenshot it. And that way you have it in your phone and these tips that we're going to give you. And that way you don't have to like try to remember, you don't have to do anything. You can just screenshot each one and just keep them in your phone. And that way if you run into these problems and stuff, you can just go right to it and be like, oh, okay.
And practice your Espanol.
Practice your Espanol, or if you didn't practice, you got it right there in your phone to go to if something happens. So we're giving you things to say, like if the car breaks down or something like that. The first one is, here's the first one. Your car broke down, somebody pulled up to help or something, whether it's the cops or anything.
Or you're calling roadside assistance.
Yeah, or you're calling, what do you say? My car broke down. Now, beautiful lady of mine, how do you say my car broke down in Espanol?
Mi carro se dañó. That's real simple, basic phrases. We're used to dealing with people that don't speak a lot of Spanish. So just basic, mi carro se dañó.
So, mi carro se dañó.
Ooh, that's sexy. Woo! Say it again. Say it again.
Mi carro se dañó.
Ooh. Oh, microphone.
That's how you say it, you know what I'm saying? Get you a little action on the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, baby, mi carro se dañó.
What's another good phrase, Yamon?
Okay. Can you call me a tow truck? Now, you may need to say that. You may not need someone to say that. But if you're in a situation and maybe your phone died or anything, or somebody's pulling up to help, you can ask them, can you call me a tow truck, please? How would you say that?
Me puede llamar una grúa. Me puede llamar una grúa.
Let me try that. Me puede llamar una grúa.
Sí, mi amor.
Por favor.
Hasta dos grúas.
Mm-hmm.
He can get as many grúas as he wants. Oh!
Muchas grúas. So this third one is a good one as well. It's my car won't start.
Mi carro no arranca. Mi carro no arranca.
Mi carro no arranca.
Ooh, look at the R's. He said arranca.
Roll that thing.
Ooh, he rolls that thing. Okay. Keep it together. So that was cool.
The next one, this is a good one because, you know, out of all the things you might need this one. I have a flat tire.
Tengo una goma pinchada. Tengo una goma pinchada.
Tengo una goma pinchada.
Yes, you do.
That thing flat.
Okay.
I ran out of gas.
Se me acabó la gasolina. Se me acabó la gasolina.
Se me acabó la gasolina.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about acabó. You know what I'm saying? Acabo. Acabo.
Acabó. Mm-hmm.
Acabó. Because you got to say, there's a little, the O is wearing a little hat, you know what I'm saying? That little, you know what I'm saying, little sun visor on it. So you got to say, it ain't acabo, it's acabó.
And you know what? He's right.
Know what's going on up in here? We speak that Espanol.
Good pronunciation.
Acabó. So, the next one.
Okay.
The battery is dead.
La batería está muerta.
La batería está muerta. That's another one that's, that happens. You might jump out the car or something and you might have left the lights on, you might have left anything, you come back, the battery's dead. We should have did I need a jump, but that one's I don't know how to translate that one. You know how to translate that one?
Jumpeame.
That's how they say it?
Yep,
I need a jump.
Jumpeame.
And you just say one word, jumpeame?
Yeah.
I need a jump, jumpeame.
Jumpeame.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if that's an actual Spanish word, but that's a
just how you
Dominican
say it.
word.
Yeah, that's just how you
That's
say
a
it.
Dominican word.
Jumpeame. Jump me. So yeah.
I don't think that's appropriate.
I got hyped up.
Yes, you did.
Okay. So the next one is this one right here. I need roadside assistance.
Necesito asistencia en la carretera.
Okay. Necesito asistencia en carretera.
Necesito asistencia en carretera. Yeah. Wow. So fancy.
No.
So
wow.
good. Oh, it's guau in Spanish. In English is wow. In Spanish is guau.
Wow.
When he's texting me, he'll put guau. Guao. Guau.
Gotta learn the game, baby. You know what I'm saying? Gotta learn the game to be in the game. So I gotta give a quick holler at Tech Sports Love, Eric.
Señor.
You already see, you see the mics. Eric said, why you ain't used the DJI mic tools yet? We using the DJI mic tools, my brother. Finally, if these things was waterproof, we'd have been using them every week.
Hola,
Bell. Hey. So we want to thank y'all for coming out, checking out the channel, checking out us in studio again. It's been a while. It feels good to be back in studio.
We had a lot of fun.
But we got to get back outside too. We're going to do a little bit of both. We're going to keep hitting these locations. We're going to address some topics. Some of you guys been telling us about some topics you'd like us to address, and we got to address them in studio. We're going to hit you with those topics. We're going to keep on bringing this content.
We can't wait.
We appreciate you.
So excited.
Love, purpose, and passports.
Adios.
Peace.
Love.